Jason never thought he'd be back in the dating world. At 37, he had grown used to quiet evenings with his daughter, Lily, their small apartment filled with laughter, crayons, and the faint smell of last night's dinner. Life had been a series of adjustments since his wife passed away 3 years ago, a tragedy that left him juggling parenthood, a full-time job, and the lingering ache of loneliness. But tonight, everything felt like stepping onto a stage he wasn't ready for. His coworker, Mark, had insisted he try dating again. Mark was the kind of man who thrived on social games, and apparently, setting up Jason on blind dates was his new favorite hobby. When he handed Jason a slip of paper with a name and a restaurant, Jason barely looked at it. "You'll thank me later," Mark said with that smug grin. Jason forced a nod, muttering that he'd survive. When he arrived at the small, dimly lit cafe, he noticed immediately that something felt off. Across the table sat a young woman, noticeably heavier than he expected, fidgeting with her napkin, her cheeks red as she looked down. Jason's first thought was to scan the room for cameras, expecting some sort of prank. He had been warned by Mark that this date might be interesting. But something in the woman's posture, a quiet dignity mixed with nervousness, made him pause. Her name was Emily, and as soon as their conversation began, Jason realized that this was no ordinary blind date. Emily had been bullied her entire life for her weight. Friends who pretended to care, family members who whispered behind her back, and strangers who felt entitled to offer unsolicited advice about her body. Tonight, she braced herself for judgment, assuming that Jason's politeness would be paper thin. But Jason wasn't the kind of man who measured people by appearance. He listened, truly listened, as Emily talked about her childhood dreams of becoming an artist, the fear that people would always see her as less than, and the small victories that never seemed to make the headlines of her life. He laughed at her jokes, shared his own stories of parenting disasters, and even admitted, awkwardly, that he sometimes cried himself to sleep missing his late wife. By the time their main courses arrived, something had shifted in the atmosphere. Emily's eyes sparkled with a warmth that hadn't been there when she walked in. Jason noticed the subtle way she relaxed her shoulders, how her voice grew more confident, how the corners of her mouth lifted more freely. Midway through dessert, a group of Jason's coworkers, led by Mark, walked in, expecting to see a scene of awkwardness, maybe even humiliation. But what they witnessed left them silent. Jason leaned across the table, meeting Emily's gaze, and said softly, "I don't care about what the world thinks. You're incredible, and I'm lucky to be sitting here with you tonight." The words hung in the air like a gentle embrace. Emily blinked back tears, and Jason's coworkers felt a sting in their hearts. What was meant to be a joke had turned into a moment of raw honesty, kindness, and humanity. Emily's lips quivered as she replied, I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," Jason said. "Just keep being you. That's more than enough." The silence that followed wasn't awkward, it was sacred. For the first time in years, Emily didn't feel invisible. She didn't feel judged, and she certainly didn't feel like a punchline. She felt seen, appreciated, and, most importantly, understood. Jason's coworkers, watching from the corner, felt a mixture of shame and awe. They had come expecting comedy, yet they had stumbled upon something transformative. They realized, in that brief moment, that cruelty often says more about the perpetrator than the victim, and that genuine compassion could turn an ordinary evening into a life-changing experience. As the evening ended, Emily and Jason stepped out into the crisp night. Jason held the door for her, and she smiled, a real, unguarded smile. She felt lighter, braver, and more beautiful than she had in years. Jason walked her to her car, and when they reached it, he turned to her. "I know this might sound crazy," he said, "but I'd like to see you again. Not because of how you look, not because anyone else might care, but because you're amazing." Emily laughed softly, tears glistening in her eyes. "I'd like that." As she drove away, Jason returned to the cafe, where his coworkers stood, fidgeting awkwardly. Mark cleared his throat. I didn't expect," he began. Jason smiled gently. "Sometimes, people surprise you. And sometimes, being kind isn't about winning a game, it's about being human." Walking back to his car, Jason felt something he hadn't in a long time, hope. Hope that love wasn't a trap or a joke, hope that kindness could outshine cruelty, and hope that he and Lily could continue to build a life full of meaning, laughter, and connection. Emily drove home with a heart swelling in ways she hadn't anticipated. She thought of all the times she had believed she wasn't enough, all the nights she had cried herself to sleep, and realized something profound. There were people in the world who could see past her exterior, past the labels, past the assumptions. And sometimes, they could love the essence of her soul without reservation. Days turned into weeks, and their friendship blossomed into something deeper. Jason and Emily shared breakfasts, library visits, and long walks in the park. They celebrated small victories and comforted each other through personal struggles. And through it all, they remembered that night, the night that was supposed to be a joke, but instead became a testament to the power of compassion, understanding, and genuine human connection. Eventually, Mark approached Jason with a sheepish grin. "I guess I was wrong about that date," he said quietly. Jason chuckled. "The joke's on anyone who thought this could be funny at someone else's expense. Real life doesn't work that way." And Emily, whenever she looked in the mirror, no longer saw someone who had been the target of mockery. She saw a woman who had been brave enough to trust, wise enough to recognize genuine kindness, and loved enough to flourish in ways she never thought possible. In the end, the world didn't need grand gestures, viral fame, or applause. Sometimes, all it took was one man's words, spoken with sincerity, to change someone's life. And that, Jason realized, was a kind of magic more powerful than any prank, any joke, or any fleeting entertainment. Because in that quiet cafe, on a night that began as a cruel setup, humanity had won. And everyone, especially Emily, knew that being seen, truly seen, was the greatest gift of all.